Hey, Old Boar here. Welcome to Geneva Recharged. This is a city that I'm building on a real location map that I made myself. You can see my channel to find out how to make these real location maps. And I've decided to go ahead and put this save game on Paradox Mods. You can download the map first and then download the save game. If you want to use this image overlay of the streets, you'll have to put in the image overlay mod as well. Now, on the actual page where you download the map, there are links to download these two images. One of them is the streets and one of them is the satellite. If you come into options and go down to image overlay, you can change this to satellite. And I don't use this much, but I do use it to know where to put in all the farming. It kind of gives you an idea. And you can get into a lot of detail using these overlays. I mostly use it to put in the basic street infrastructure because I want it to look more realistic. And of course, if you wanted to use Google Maps or Google Earth, you could get into some real fine detail and make this as close to Geneva as you possibly could. And with the assets available to us, you're not going to get that close to reality, but it's okay. Use the streets, put in those streets, and you're going to have a whole lot more realistic looking city. And you can see that all my demand is just totally maxed out. These are high density residentials. There's a little one here. So little by little I'm working on this. And I have put in a few little towns. This is a little town here. I've also gone in and put districts in so that once I get out to building in those areas, they can be inside of a district. This is another little 3-town district. You can see that there's some streets and a little bit of commercial, a little bit of residential. Here's your train station. And so I've put these in to give me an idea of where I want to build out these little cities. And I've already put a train line into this area here. So this is the train line. And I've got one train, which is here, waiting to be loaded. It's not carrying very many passengers because my population is too low. Got 14 passengers. I'm having some trouble with City Skylines 2 in the mods and getting everything to work correctly, but I'm just kind of sticking with it. Hopefully they'll get it worked out, especially the Move It mod. And I keep thinking about how they're going to integrate third-party assets. And the trees, if you think about trees, if you wanted to add a tree as an asset, you're going to have to add different sizes and seasons. It's very complicated. And these buildings as well, if you were going to add a building. See these passengers come out here. I think this is a little Japanese station, and you can see the people over here walking below the walkway there. We've got 12 passengers going back. It is serving its purpose. I've tried to lower and raise this, but it is what it is. Now, I opened up my City Skylines 1 game the other day, and I was not able to save my changes. And I've been doing some research. I think my workshop hard drive space is full of City Skylines 1 saves. So that City Skylines 1 game that I was working on before I got really into City Skylines 2, I can get into it and load the last version, but I can't save any new changes. Guess I'm going to have to get in and delete some of the games out from my older City Skylines 1's games. So I've got a little town coming in here. There's a little bit of population coming into this area here. This is Onyx district. And as you can see, there's just streets all through here. This is the university. And this is downtown Geneva. Which I've already got some structures in here. A little bit of commercial. Modern art museum. These are office buildings. So what I'm doing is I'm putting in these buildings. I'm plopping in some of them so that I can see what they look like, and I am growing some of it so that I can get these assets favorited and actually make these look a little bit better when they grow in. You can actually take your picker mod. This will tell you exactly which assets you have, and you can star this as a favorite inside of Find It. And these are my favorites. Or you could just plop it. Once they're all grown in, then you can plop them down. This is our little hospital district. And I've got those assets in. So of course, I'm playing with unlimited money and I'm 5 million under budget. But once this gets into the green, then I'll know I'm playing the game correctly. And I've got the problem icons hidden So basically I've got this massive area here. This is the entire buildable area, and these are all the little towns that can be put in and have trains running to them. And I'm using 529 tiles so that I get all of those tiles. And these say they have warnings, but I'm not seeing it on Skive. Oh yes, the Find It mod has a warning on Skive, and so does the Move It and the Area Bucket. And this is a neat new feature to kind of show you here which ones you kind of have to watch out for, because building code mods for City Skylines 2 is going to be quite a task. There are so many interconnected issues because this game is way more complex than City Skylines 1. And I've been wondering, actually, I work in data, so I understand some of the problems and issues they're having. To integrate third-party assets is going to be a huge task for them. You know, they've done a really good job getting us mods that can add things into the game. And so most of the assets that have been created, and there are even some newer assets that are the highways and interchanges, they're just going to be a little bit buggy. I had a train station. It was like a 8-line train station that I put into my Volturia 1.0 series. I also used a lot of road networks that were third-party assets, and all those things broke down over time because they're working on making the game better. And they're working on, for example, this modern high school is not a third-party asset. This is an additional teaching building. This additional teaching building has student capacity, upkeeps, changes the dynamics of this little high school. And so to make a third-party asset, just this building is not going to be easy for them. Guess what I'm trying to say is I personally am not expecting to see third-party assets very soon. Because they need to get all the bugs of the game worked out. They need to get these major mods worked out, like Move It. I will crash occasionally using Move It. I haven't had any problems with it recently. And so, even though we have these new packs for assets, UK pack, etc., they're still working on getting the bugs worked out and trying to keep us satisfied with new assets. Got a lot of industrial demand. And there are a lot of things that are special buildings. Got this selected here. Chemical plant, dairy house, fuel plant, industrial manufacturing, oil refinery, vehicle factory. This is a big vehicle factory. And apparently now it's housing employees. This really needs to be on flat ground here. You don't want to put it right on that road, that collector road. And so, in my opinion, they are really doing a great job at making this game better and making it what we expect it to be. Let's put it that way. Large parking lot. I think it's going to be here. It's just not quite right. Now let's see if Move It will work. Just gonna move this just a bit. Not enough electricity. This is the entrance here. It's alright. Fix this. Not enough electricity still. And it's probably because this one needs connecting. Employees 363. This is industrial, the vehicle factory. It's good enough for me. With all the assets that they've added into the game, I think I could be happy with them giving me the assets. And they're involving some creators to help them with this. This is just the way I do this. I just right click on that little road. And I've been thinking about my channel, because my channel, I'll start these series and I'll only go so far with them. And some of my series, I go pretty far as far as building out big city. The other thing that I'm a little hesitant about, let's put it that way, is that I'm probably not going to be able to have 100,000 population. I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to get up to about I would say 60,000 maximum. And so the idea behind City Skylines, that your population is basically not limited. It will be limited according to your computer and according to how well they can get this game to function. Right now, it's functioning pretty well. Let me look at these other ones. Buildings. Dairy house, chemical plant. Let's see what the chemical plant looks like. What does it do? To see actually what it does, you'd have to put it down. And this is our train hub. This is kind of manufacturing over in this area. Fuel plant, dairy house, ground earth. I'm not for sure if I have this in. I don't think so. Pharma I have in. This is pharma right here, I believe. Yes. Paper factory. These are going to create pollution. Might want this one. You're going to want it on a straight road. Let's see. This is 4-lane. We want this a straight road so we can put that factory in. Get a little bit more industrial coming in here. $245 employees. It should help. Now, anything that I put in during this particular video, you're not going to find in the save game. I uploaded the save game. And to make the save game work, you're going to have to download the map. And if you want this image overlay of the streets, inside of the map on Paradox Mods is a link to it. You'll have to follow the instructions in those videos on how to make your own map to get that in there. But you know, this infrastructure here may be enough for you to build out on your own. Over here is the big airport. I don't want to put it in. It's going to eat up a lot of resources. I want to see if I can get this budget under control. I'm playing the game with these two indicators. Mail service. Mail service is not in yet. And we would want to put that in this area here. And I've looked on Google Maps. These things are, a lot of this is residential. This is downtown Geneva. But this would be a good place for it right in here. It's a little water feature. This is a major arterial road here. And to get this far is quite a bit of work. I spent many hours putting in this major infrastructure. I think I'm going to do it here. I like these assets. This is a 4-lane to a 4-lane. And we've got a road coming off here. Post office. Postal sorting facility is the big one. And it has sub-assets. And I want to put the roads around it. Might want to put these extensions in first so that I know where the roads go. And this is just an addition. This is also just an extra building. And now we can put these roads in. And the post office has its little buildings as well. And there it is, your postal sorting facility and major post office. Super nice. We could color this whatever we want. No, this building, yes, it does. It should take care of that. Poor garbage service. Industrial waste processing site. Look at that, 6 million. JP Recycling Center. Maybe this would just look good right here. I think so. All Our other one is way over here, and we have, let's just see what our garbage looks like here. Got something here. No, those are the ones who need the garbage. And this is a switchback getting up into this little isolated area. For some reason, we're not getting garbage over to here. See, it's a matter of positioning these and getting them to not have to go all the way back. Here's all of our garbage trucks. You know, think about how complex City Skylines 2 is. Look at the interface and look at the data that we're looking at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The trucks are way out here. And so we really need this probably over in this little town. I like it. It has no extensions. Dump truck. It's producing a dump truck and a garbage truck. Let's see, this is down. Unreliable mail service has increased. Poor garbage service, unreliable health care coverage. Probably because this town is just too far. This is our health care coverage. And we need some medical clinics. Modern medical clinic. And I'm not for sure if I put police and fire over here. I'm pretty particular about where I lay my buildings. Let's see. Doing a little better here. There's nothing in this area here. But the fact that you can put this down and see your lines turn a different color. Imagine the database and the coding that would need to go in to that happening. We've got a little bit more coverage here. I don't think these have other assets. Yeah, they do. Let's put this in and put that in. So that's how I play the game. I want to raise this up. And I want to keep my budget. We're a little bit more over budget because of these things we've been adding, post office and clinics and whatnot. These are commercial buildings. restaurants. Super clean, super nice. It reminds me of a game I used to play called A Train 9. If any of you out there know what that is. It's way better. And look at the detail here. There's all kinds of decals to do super heavy detailing. You know, I'm kind of just experimenting with City Skylines 2 to see what it's going to do for me and what I want to do with it. When I'm out of the game, I start to get a little discouraged. I don't know if you can relate. When I'm in the game and I'm doing what I'm doing here, I'm fine. And if you look at all the work that's going to need to be done, you could spend years here in this one city, but you're going to have to be careful about putting in residential and expanding your population too high. You know, this is a residential area. And do we have this? Yes. This is Cologne. And so this whole district is a little town. And I'm going to bring in train so that people in here can get out into here. There'll be a line that goes through this main train station out into here, over into Sackney. I think that's how you say it. This is a little town. And I'm always going to keep my eye on this because this is the main bottleneck, this population here. And I don't want to build out massive population here. I want to have little towns where I can connect. And so this district here has got 2,700 people in it. This district, Geneva, has 1,000. This has 2,000. This has 330. This doesn't have anyone. This is 2,697. And they're content. Energy consumption, cycling. So I've got my reliable healthcare taken care of. Now I still need to add a little bit more garbage or let this little puppy here work its way into the system, because that's basically going to take some time. You might even have to put something out in here. This building got served. These did not. I'd hate to have to add something out here just to take care of this. 80,000 a month. So you're going to have to decide on where you want to put your little populated places. This is a good one here. I guess the way I play the game is for myself and for others, because I'm giving you ideas basically on my channel. I could just play the game and not have any commentary, but I have a lot to say about City Skylines 2. And with my experience, I guess I feel like that I have enough to say that it would be worthwhile. There's my little collector road. And so this is, I guess, what I would do. All these tiny little roads in here. City Skylines 1 has a 10-meter road that I used to really love. And you could use alleyways here, but I'm not going to use alleyways. And this is collector here. This could be a roundabout, actually. What is this? Very large. This is a switchback that goes up into these mountains. I'm doing another little experiment today. I'm going to play for an hour because to get into the game and get your mind wrapped around on what you want to do, and then to actually start to do something, it takes a while for me. I'm not for sure if I'm going to be happy with that. This is another roundabout, it looks like. And this is a collector out to the 6th lane. Which I did not connect to the outside world. And if you don't get right above that, you're not going to get that over that. You can see what I did here. You have to get your view straight above the street level because the image overlay is actually pretty high above the ground. It doesn't conform itself to the terrain like in City Skylines 1. And that's how I build out my infrastructure for this little town. I'm not going to follow every little street because the zoning doesn't work. The zoning is not going to work. I'm using this as a guide to make it look a little bit more realistic. And that's as far as this goes. I have tried to use City Skylines and the workshop and the assets to do something very realistic on my hometown, which is called Amherst. And it's a series on my channel. And you quickly get disillusioned because you just can't reproduce reality. Now, there are some guys in Europe who are working very hard to actually make all the buildings in their town. On City Skylines 1, and so they're making those buildings. They are fanatics. But I would imagine that they are not very pleased. But they're doing it over a long period of time, and they're happy to share those assets with the rest of the community as well. It's kind of their contribution. This isn't going to look too good here, but it's okay. This is a hill. Coming up a hill here. And we're not going to zone on this 4-lane road. You could fix this if you wanted to. This is this little district. That's how long it took me to put this in. And we've got a lot more we could zone here. I was working with a coder who's a City Skylines 1 player, and we were trying to get high-res satellite imagery to work in City Skylines 1, and he was able to code it. It broke up the high-res images into pieces, and they loaded into the game in pieces. The problem was they were too heavy, so the game became very sluggish, even with the image overlay of those high-res satellite imageries turned off, because everything had to be loaded into the page file. I'm going to do a cul-de-sac here because see how the zoning works out? You put all those little streets in and you're not going to be able to zone. It's a guide to keep it a little bit more realistic, looking realistic. And here is where you could come over into this area here and pick your buildings. You could pick this German residential medium level 3. I let those grow in. But that's the building I want on this little place in here. And I'm just gonna plop it. It's a hill. It's gonna look fairly decent. Probably want that parking road here or a parking lot. Little parking lot down here. These are UK assets. This is the German department store. It's huge. Corner department store. And you would look into this DE. And that's it. That's what you get. You don't get the other side. It's okay. And if you wanted to zone the back into this, I guess the way that I would do this would be to put the alleyway in. DE, Department Row Building. And you could just plop this and see what grows in. Put a little commercial in there. And use the European housing here. Just see what happens. Medium density. This is the German medium density. wonky in here because we're on this hill, but it can all be straightened out. This is definitely something I'm not fond of. That's better. And so this little district, it's already got 1,000 people in it. Oh, households. I've been looking at the household count. It's got 2,000 in it. This district has 6,000. This district has 4,000. Geneva has 2,000. So that's Geneva. Real location map. Slowly building out the infrastructure, taking your time, putting things in the way you want them. You know, these little tunnels and all these things that are coming through in here, you know, are connecting this rail yard up to the road and the server farm here. This is Pharma. It's got 76 of 101, 48 of 48. This has 259 of 363 employees. It's almost filled. 200 of 245. We put these buildings in during this session. And getting those train lines in is the fun part. There's our little city on the hill back over there. We're going to take one of these train lines, this one, out through here and up into this little area. And of course, this needs police, medical, fire, etc. So I hope you're enjoying the Geneva build. Hit the like and subscribe. And thanks for watching the old boar play City Skylines 2. We'll see you in the next time.